All right, we have coaches. I know you're excited for part two to know what 6 through 10 is going to be in Coach Woods' top 10 offensive nuggets. So let's get right to it. Number 6, having multiple plays with the same blocking scheme. I touched on it in the last video with my zone and jet plays, how they're the same blocking scheme, very same read for the running backs, just a little bit of a tweak. Looking at my offensive plays here, I really have 2 blocking schemes for all of these plays. All right, this is my red and blue formation. I have zone and I have a zone boot. I have 2 to 3 versions of the zone boot. Zone boot is blocked the same way as the zone. And then I have a play called Beast, which is like a quarterback sweep. That's a different blocking scheme. We double team, 2 double teams. The center blocks back with the weak side guard and double teams. My tight end and my play side guard double team. And then my X receiver cracks down and my tailback kicks out the corner. So that's Beast, which is a different blocking scheme. We have Jet, same blocking scheme as Zone. We have 3 plays off of that called Jet Keep. Same play, but the quarterback fakes the jet and keeps it. Super simple. We have Jet Joker, same play, except the jetter comes out and the X receiver does a fake reverse behind him. Little token thing and go. And I just found that I call it Joker because we're kind of faking them out. That Joker play is just easier than a reverse, and I've gotten more success on the fake reverse than the real reverse. And then we have a play called Jet Special, which is the same thing, but the tailback can either throw it to the X receiver running the flag route or keep it. It's kind of an RPO. So same blocking scheme. We could do Jet Boot, a boot off the jet to the quarterback. Same blocking scheme. We have Jet Popcorn, which is I move my X into a wingback, and it's kind of a double handoff where the quarterback, after he hands off to the tailback, goes out and is a lead blocker for the X receiver, getting the second handoff. And then Raider is a rollout. So that is just, we use the same as Beast. It's 2 double teams. Quarterback that has an edge can get around it and has to have the X receiver run a little 5 to 6 yard little whip out. And have some different versions of Raider as well, but same blocking scheme. So 2 blocking schemes for all of my plays. Number 7, run a few plays great. This is the key, and I've known it and have struggled my first couple years of doing this. Even last year, I had so many plays that just, they're kind of in my head, and I had them written down in the playbook. We'd spend time in team practicing them, and half of them I never even ran in a game, and the other half I didn't run enough to warrant the time spent. So I've learned that the hard way, and the more simple I've kept my offense, the better I've been, and I really think it's hard to do. But what you get is you get less time in practice running team, right? Just practicing your plays. Then you get more time. If you have a simple offense, you don't need a whole bunch of plays to practice. And then you have more time to do skill development. And that's what these kids need. They need to get better at blocking and tackling in their stance and pulling flags. It's way more important, right? To execute basic handoffs, for tailbacks to learn how to read an action key, receivers to get fundamentals of catching. It's more important than just to practice plays. I feel like the kids have more fun doing these drills than just running through plays. They get a little squirrely. So he's willing to spend about 20 minutes per day at the most in team. That's offense and defense combined. So probably I spend about 10 to 15 minutes practicing my plays. And I can afford to do that with not having a ton and just a couple wrinkles for some of my special plays. So that's a big one. Remember that. Number 8 goes with it. In a game, be okay with running your base plays over and over and over again. Running it down their throat. All right, that's just, man, it's demoralizing to a team to run the same couple of base plays over and over again. And there's going to be times where your base play gets blown up. It's going to happen. Be patient with it. Really understand it so you can coach kids. You're going to be looking. They have some coaches on the sideline who are looking at different things so you can see if it's a technical issue that you can fix right away. Or sometimes you watch our huddle videos after the game on video. You're going to pick up things. Oh man, it's just, this kid wasn't making us block in the right thing, and that's why that play didn't go. Why didn't that play work? All right, you want to get at least 4 yards, right? Why didn't it get 4 yards? Who made a mistake? So that way you know what to coach and who to coach what in practices. That's more important than just running more and more plays. It's really more about ego, the more play thing, so in my opinion. So with that said, I want to talk a little bit about my offense last year. So my statistics, what I pulled together, we averaged only 27 plays per game. They're short games, so only 27. I was 85% run, 15% pass. That's just kind of me and my personality. And what I had offensively last year, some really good running backs. We averaged 212 yards per game, which is pretty phenomenal for 27 plays. We averaged 8.7 yards per carry. Our passing was a 40% completion percentage, which, man, I'd like to be closer to 60. We had some close ones. I know looking at my huddle film, I know to get better for next year. We only averaged about 9.8 yards per completion. All right, so, and then my plays, here's my basic plays. And how many times ran in per game. This is gold right here, guys. My zone play is my play. That's the play we hang our hat on. That zone dive. We ran it 10 times per game out of 27. So we're looking at about a third, over a third of our plays is that one base play. You know what? We got great in it. Our kids believed in it. Then we had our jet play. We ran that 5 times a game. That beast quarterback sweep play was about 5 times a game. Pass plays all together between the zone boot and the Raider, really the only 2 plays we had, a couple wrinkles, variations of each. 4.5 times a game. Our special plays, the fake reverse, the jet keep, jet special, jet popcorn kind of stuff, was about 2.5 plays per game. So you can see that breakdown. To me, that's kind of what you want, is have that one base play, you run it over and over again. You have 2 kind of second level plays, running plays, some pass plays and specials. So good way to think about it and see how you're doing. Next thing, number 9, is having some special plays. You want to have those kind of specials because it might pop a big play in a game. That's what you need to get that might be getting 4 yards in your base plays, but you need that big one to go. Also, you want to have special plays for certain kids. I mean, not everybody's going to get the ball all the time. To me, you're going to have some kids who play guard, and you want to throw them at maybe tight end, or certain plays like in the zone boot where you can kind of sneak a tight end. I call it Mississippi, where he blocks 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, then he releases in the flat. It's usually a play that's kind of wide open. So you can have some plays like that that you want to get a certain kid a ball. Or sometimes, again, zone dive. I'll just have my kid who's a guard or doesn't always get the ball. You can run, if it's a bigger kid, he'll can run zone dive. If it's a kind of smaller receiver kid, he'll run a jet. Just put him in at a tailback for a jet play. Conversion plays. The other thing is having some plays for your 2-point conversions, 1-point conversions. I know what, looking back, we struggled with that last year. It's one thing I'm going to work hard on, is maybe just having a couple of unique, fun plays for conversions. And I think, you want to keep things fresh and fun too. You want to have the fundamentals. Hey, they are kids, have some fun stuff, come up with some things, ask kids what they want to do. Also have your kids make some names up. You have some fun names like popcorn. We call it jet popcorn because it's like pop, it's a handoff. So things like that. I also have a couple bonus. One is using Huddle. The Browns pay for like 3 Huddle accounts. If a coach wants to do Huddle, which is basically you have an iPad or iPhone and record the games, we'll help pay for that. It's been instrumental in me learning and watching game film and watching the kids, and I can come back and practice the next week and say, hey, I have a plan. We need to work on this. My receivers got to work on blocking for the here and this and that. Or your centers, are they getting a double team or not? Or they climb the linebacker? Or they stand there looking around? You can also show them that. You can show them plays after practice. For Huddle, the hard part is getting really a parent or maybe a sibling to videotape your games. But what I had in the past is that I'd have, I'm around offense, I'd have the Huddle person stand behind me. They'd move out of the way and they'd videotape right behind the offense. You'd get a real good view on defense. You can't really do that, but you can be on the goal line or on the sideline and get a view that way. The other thing is a video playbook. I started this last year, and I want to get to practice and ideally have the kids know what to expect. Especially those first couple of weeks we're installing these base plays. And what I would do is at the first couple of weeks at practice, I'd install 1 run play and 1 pass play. And I would shoot a video the day before, so when they came to practice, they understood what was going on. I'd draw it up like kind of do here, center does this, and different things, maybe draw some different defenses and how they adjust and go over each position and the kind of key points for each position. So I make these like 10-minute videos to go over those plays. And once I don't have a lot of plays, so it didn't take more than a couple weeks. But to me, it's just being creative. It's using technology. I think being creative builds trust and interest, and whatever it takes to be great, to get an advantage. And I felt like my kids had an advantage coming to practice, and beforehand, the night before, they watched a video, and their parents did too, which is cool. So they knew what was going on and why we ran things a certain way. And they could know it before. They're not just learning it at practice. They've already learned it, the night before. So it wasn't really hard to do. You need a whiteboard and a stand and a camera, and that helped. And then sometimes, middle end of the season, I felt like we needed a wrinkle, keep things fresh, throw a new play in there. I would do that. Sunday or Monday, I would put up the new play and send it to them, and they'd know it beforehand. So then they could also go back and review, right? So. If they're struggling with a assignment responsibility, they could always have that video playbook resource. So, all right, guys, 6 through 10, multiple plays with Sid Watkins scheme. Run a few plays, great. All right, keep it simple. Be okay with running base plays over and over and over again in a game. Have some specials for big plays or get kids the ball when you need to, and have some good conversion plays. Use Huddle and have a video playbook. Peace.